Hey everybody, I'm Ryan Little, and you're listening to the Filmmaking Friends Podcast, episode number 11. Today, we're hanging out with full-time filmmaker, stuntman, and good friend, Mr. Kevin Jackson. This guy has a lot of credits under his belt. Guardians of the Galaxy, Doctor Strange, Fast and the Furious, just to name a few. We talk about how he got into the industry and how he worked his way up to becoming a stunt coordinator.
First of all, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Totally cool to be here. The cool thing about it, everybody's story is different. And that's what's intriguing about the whole process of filmmaking. But for me, it was just like, I grew up riding bicycles, raced bicycles professionally, from racing professionally. Then I got involved in designing bicycles. So I worked for Schwinn Bicycle Company. I was very fortunate to do a lot of overseas traveling and just see different things from the engineering side, from the design side, from the marketing side. So it gave me kind of an in-depth feel of how to put something together. And that was kind of cool. Grew up on a farm, wasn't really in the Hollywood at all.
Oh, really?
And next thing you know, it's just like, I'm working at Schwinn. They need somebody to do some commercials. Hey, this guy should do the commercials. He used to race for us. Yeah, all right. Yeah. So did a couple commercials, did a couple print ads for him. And that's kind of what started it. And next thing you know, it's just like, wow, that's what I got paid for doing a commercial? Right. Yeah, all right. Yeah. Not too shabby. And next thing you know, I'm just kind of like, this is actually pretty cool. But now I have to make a choice. Do I dive in 100% to really try this? Or do you just dab with your foot halfway in? Well, halfway in doesn't get you anywhere. If you're going to go for it, you got to go for it. So I remember going to appreciate everything you guys did for me, but I really got to give this a try. So I gave my notice, went and got a job at a bike shop, wrenching on bicycles to have some money and free time, and just hustled. I was already into mountain climbing. I was into bike riding. I was doing a little bit of martial arts at the time. So all that stuff was just kind of like what I enjoyed doing. And from the commercials, I was meeting these guys going, hey, you should do stunts. I'm like, stunts? What are stunts? You know? Well, yeah, bicycle stuff you just do, that's a stunt. Oh, okay. So I got in first break commercials, did a lot of the Mountain Dew spots, did a lot of commercials with bicycles, from jumping cars, doing crashes, so that was my in, in the Hollywood. From there, I was able to capitalize on, I had other abilities as far as being athletic. So that helped out. Then I had another interest to where I'm like, man, this rigging stuff is kind of cool. I don't know a lot about it, but I have like an engineering feel just from designing the bikes and knowing some stuff there. So I was able to hook up and get started in that side of the business as well. And rigging, I enjoy it because it's just a process that the mind is always ticking. You can do something, whether you do it better, whether you do it smarter, whether you do it creatively, it all has its aspects to it. So I dug it.
Well, and you mentioned that you were really into rock climbing and stuff, and that there is some rigging in there. I mean, it's different than, of course, stunt rigging, all right? But the mindset of like setting and making sure it's bomber, and you've got the anchor set and all that. But still, the idea of safety and how you're going to set it up. There's still that thinking process. So
absolutely.
I could totally see, if you're into rock climbing, you're like, yeah, this rigging thing's kind of cool. It's like an extension. It's like rock climbing on steroids, basically.
Well, and that's exactly what it is. And I was very fortunate to work with a guy who I have the utmost respect for. His name is Sean Couts. He owns a company, Stunt Rigs. And knowing his background, I mean, you want to talk about a climber, and where he came from, and being fortunate enough to hook up with him and see how his mind works, that was a blessing. Yeah. So when you have stuff like that around you, what are you going to do with it? And I was just more like, everybody tries to, you do this or you do this. I came from the background where if I could do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, it just helped rounded me for a lot of reasons. A, to be a better stunt person, knowing the rigging side of it. So if you're doing a stunt, I call it the A through the Z, and that aspect of it. Knowing the rigging side of it, it's just like, okay, well, I've done a couple of stunts here. So now I know kind of what to expect and how this might work. Then you take that, and we'll get into a little bit more, but even the coordinating side, it just helps you have a better understanding when you're in a meeting, knowing this, knowing that, not knowing everything, but having the knowledge of how to make this come to life. And that's exciting. That's what I get out of all this.
That's very cool. So, for someone who's interested in potentially getting into stunts, definitely the way that you kind of worked your way in there from, mountain biking and all that, kind of, a door opened for you and allowed you to expand and continue to do stunt coordinating, which you do today. Parkour seems to be a big way a lot of stunt people come to stunts. Do you find that to be true, or am I just is it just been me that's been working with every stunt guy who knows parkour in town?
No, I mean, everything goes through phases.
Yeah.
So if you go back, to the 80s or late 80s, you had ex-football players, you had ex-baseball players, you had professional cowboys.
Yeah.
And that was the hot ticket. So getting in there, these guys are tough. They can take a pounding. Yes, you can do parkour. Well, back in the day, this guy rode on the back of bulls. Okay. Yes, you can do parkour. Back in the day, this guy did this because it's still a stunt.
Yeah.
We'll run into things now where people are like, well, that's cool, but I don't want to hit the ground.
Yeah.
I'll do that. But hey, man, I don't want to get ratcheted. It's just like, yeah, but that's what stunts are. We appreciate your talent. And your talent is good, but for you to grow and to become a better stunt person or a better stunt coordinator, I always tell these guys, understand the whole facet of the game. Because if you understand the facet of the game, you're going to understand and probably be more hungry to get where you want to get.
Yeah.
Don't just rest on, I just do this and that's it.
Yeah.
Because now you're limiting yourself.
Okay, I get what you're saying. It's good to have a good understanding. Just like for me as a director, it's good to have a good understanding of all departments.
Absolutely.
Understand what they go through, what's hard for them, what's easy for them, where their mindset is, how they're looking at the project from.
Yep.
It's really good to have an understanding because then you know how to work with those people better.
Yeah.
So not so much in the stunt world, but like say if you want to eventually become a director or producer or whatever, a lot of times people start out as interns. We call that paying your dues.
Paying your dues.
You're an intern, you might work for free on a whole feature or some commercials or whatever. People realize you're a hard worker, and then the next time they start paying you, become a PA, and you work your way up into whatever department, camera or locations or whatever department is that you want to work in.
Yeah.
Now, in the stunt world though, I mean, if someone's like, yeah, I want to be a stuntman, I have no experience. Is there really a paying your dues phase for a stunt person? Because it's kind of, can you really do that? Like, I know no stunts. I'll fall down for free. I mean, you can't, you're going to hurt somebody, right?
Believe it or not, people think that that's how it works. Some
so
people.
What does paying your dues for a stunt person look like?
Absolutely. And it does exist. So paying your dues for a stunt person. You know what? A bunch of us train at this dojo. Right. 2 days a week.
Yeah.
Okay, if that guy's showing up at the dojo constantly with these guys, they're going to get to know him. Right. And they're like, okay, hey, man, check it out. We're going to go do some driving. You want to come with us? Because that guy's putting in an effort,
Gotcha.
So there's that type. There's some guys that have their training sessions where they just go and train. They'll probably go to a park on the weekend. They all get together, they train.
Yeah.
So those groups exist. And paying your dues from that avenue branches out into other avenues. Because once they see you and you're there trying, hey man, why don't you come help us? Hey, we're building a catcher on this one show. Come out and give us a hand. Or hey, we're cleaning all this gear at the shop. Come give us a hand.
Oh yeah.
And then next thing you know, it's like, hey man, let's give this guy a crack.
All right. So I think you've given us a lot of good ideas about how someone who's interested in stunts can approach it, or at least start.
Yeah.
I think there's through social media you can reach out to stunt guys, find out where they're hanging out.
Absolutely.
Go do that. I mean, social media is so
it's
much
the
power.
king.
It's if you're following stunt guys on Instagram, eventually if you bug them enough, they'll start talking to you, and you'll find a way to work your way into their groups and go pay your dues. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's out there for you, and you just grab it, man.
Yeah.
It's there.
So eventually for you, stunt work turns into stunt coordinating. Now, you and I worked on a TNT pilot, which was a lot of fun, and that was the first time that you and I got to work together, and you were the stunt coordinator on that. Before that show, had you already been a stunt coordinator? Was that kind of near the beginning of stunt coordinating for you, or had you already been doing it for a while?
No, I think I just started coordinating that for a little bit. I was just making that transition.
How do you make that jump? How does that happen?
And it's like, okay, you can sit.
Jump. You see that?
Yeah,
like stunt,
I like
jump.
that. Yeah, how do you make that jump?
When you're on fire and you fall off the building, how do you make that roll into
stick
stunt
the landing? Got to stick the landing, man.
Into stunt coordinating.
That's it.
How does that happen?
It was great because I woke up and you're just kind of like, okay, Well, I don't want to hit the ground when I'm 50 years old.
Right.
So either you're going to try to coordinate or you're going to have a short career.
Yeah.
And my thing was, nobody's going to take you serious unless you make that jump.
Yeah.
So I remember getting phone calls. Hey, man, we got this stunt for you. I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah.
Could have used the work. Yeah, absolutely. But no, I want people to know that I want to coordinate.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I got a break. And it was just like, hey, I want you to come coordinate. Yes, I did it.
Yeah.
And but you have to show them that you want to do it. Sometimes does it come to you? Absolutely, but don't focus on that. Everybody goes, hey, so and so. I don't care about so and so. What I care about is me.
Yeah.
How do I get there? How do I put in the time? And it was just one of those things to where, okay, work is good, continue to go, but it's going to drop. But I'm going to stop it while it's good to get on the other side of the fence.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah, and the same thing with, whether it's coordinating, whether it's rigging, you got to make that choice. You have to make the choice.
Yeah.
And when you make it, then they'll see it.
So you just kind of keep working at it.
Yeah.
Your resume builds.
Yeah.
Now one of the things, I don't want to get too much into this, but one of the things that you've started to move into is, and I've used you like this on the TV show that we did together, was to have you direct some second unit. Is that a natural place for coordinators to go, is to want to start directing some second unit because they understand and kind of know the camera angles and stuff? Or is that an oddity? Is not a lot of them do it, and you're like one of the few that likes to also do that?
You're top again. I think when you're hungry, you have challenges.
Yeah.
And I think as you go to do stunts, okay, that's a challenge. Now I want to coordinate. Ooh, okay, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, got that. Ooh, now I want to direct second unit. So when you're hungry, you're going to find a way to get that done. The good transition, I think, for stunt guys, for a stunt coordinator, and somebody who wants to become a second unit director, you've been there. You've seen it. You've done it. You may not know everything, but you understand the language. And now it's just surrounding yourself with good people to go out there and deliver. Yeah. And it's a natural step for some people who want to do that. But if you don't want to do it, it's still okay. Because there's still knowledge there, that you can share. But making that jump as a second unit director, I think some studios, some producers look at that to where, this guy, he has a knack for it. Yeah. And if he has a knack for it, PR, communication, running a team, understanding the team, but bringing the project in, delivering the project. To me, that all goes hand in hand. Yeah. And you can't be selfish. You have to understand what your role is. Yeah. And one thing I've noticed with second unit directing, it's not your project. It's the director's project. So I'm here to help. I'm here to bring your vision to life. If you want suggestions or if you're asking for suggestions, I'll also have that available as well. Yeah. But this is your project, and I'm here to help you bring your vision to screen. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. So often as a DP, I've seen where like the director tries to choreograph the fight, and I'm just like, no, we're going to be here for 3 days because this is not going to work. Because right now he's already given me 7 new lighting setups, and that's just my job. Kevin looks like he's going to cry in the corner because he's like, overtime? What's going to happen here? So anyway, but one of the things, the luxuries that I enjoy is every time that you finish one of these big movies that you're on or TV things or whatever, we always get a chance to kind of talk about the good and the bad of those experiences. And this doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes you call me and you're like, dude, this person cannot direct themselves out of a box. I mean, I don't know what, so much wasted money or whatever. So that triggered the thought that I wanted to ask you, what are some key characteristics of a good director from the stunt coordinator's perspective? What are they?
Yeah, there's 2 sides to it. Number one, if I'm to work with a director, whether it's a coordinator or a second unit director, do your homework. Yeah. Homework is done before you show up to set, whether it's read the script, your shot list, time, how much time do I have? Yeah. To me, that is key because my job is I have to deliver his vision. He's given me an outline. Okay, and with that outline, there's a realistic time. Realistic time is how much time do I have? Yeah. From the beginning, the middle, the end, having that set, having your shot list. So when I get there, things might change. Yeah. But if they change, I'm not panicked because I have my in, I have my out, I have my plan A, my plan B. So by attacking it that way with the director, And the reason I started on that side saying, what I need to come to the table with.
Yeah.
Now I think you've opened up the dialogue with you and the director. Because if you come prepared the majority of the times, everybody is going to be on the same page. If you don't come prepared, I think the director is already going to question you from the get-go. And that's your fault.
I see what you're saying.
So with the director, the easiest way to communicate with the director, do your homework.
Yeah.
I believe in that solely.
So you come to the table knowing the script, looking at the schedule that's been provided by the AD to see kind of what they're proposing is the time we're going to shoot this or how long it's going to take or whatever. And then if there's a shot list provided, obviously reviewing that and kind of getting the vision. Now you're sitting down with the director. What are some of your expectations? I'll call them expectations of a director for this to be as good as they want it to be. What do they need to bring? A shot list. A shot list, I mean, it's good to have a shot list, right? Or if not a shot list, some storyboards.
Yeah, if he has the storyboards, because I know a lot of directors, they're all different.
Yeah.
But not different. They all have different ways of expressing their vision.
Yeah.
So to me, PR is just so important.
Yeah.
Because there might be some directors, you're just not going to be on the same level.
Yeah.
But you can still get the job done. So if he has his vision, it's up to me to take that vision, correlate it into what I'm visualizing what he wants, but then go back with, I think this is what you're asking for, and let's break it down. But when you go back and say, well, this is how I think, this is how it's going to be done, now you've kind of stepped on his toes. And to me, that starts the relationship a little rough. There might be some situations where, okay, look, we got to take this over, man. I got to get this going. Yeah. So this is what we're going to do. I know what you want. I know what the end's supposed to be like. I know the scene you came out of to get to this. Yeah. So how about we do this? The only reason I'm saying that, because I got time.
Yeah.
And we got 2 other setups. We got 3 other setups. We only have this location for a day. Do your homework, and I think the majority of the time you're going to flow with the director.
Yeah.
But don't just be so one-sided. You got to, again, it's his movie.
Yeah. I think a couple things also that I've learned is, one, as a director, obviously have a vision, know what you want, but be open to help, especially from those who know it better than you. And don't feel like, oh, well, if I let the stunt coordinator kind of take over here a little bit, I'm going to look like I don't know what I'm doing.
Exactly.
If anything, if you are very clear with what your goals are and you say, okay, Kevin, walk me through this. You know how much time we have. If you're communicating clearly and everyone can see that, they know you're a smart director because you're making the smart decision, which is to let the coordinator do his or her job. And get it done in the amount of time. That's not a weakness. That's not actually a smart
That's
move.
smart.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that was like the first thing that I think is really important that I've learned through doing this a handful of times. And also, I like, if possible, early on in a scout, and I don't mean like a tech scout with everybody there, but just an opportunity to walk, even if it's not in the real space, to like literally with the coordinator, and you guys are the stand-ins, you and the coordinator are almost the stand-ins for the actors of kind of what you want to go through.
Absolutely.
And then you can have all that worked out, so when the crew is standing there watching the rehearsal, they're not like, oh my gosh, they're just now figuring out what they want.
Exactly.
You and I have already figured it out.
Yep.
When they show up, we're like, okay, everybody, this is how it's going to go.
Yep.
We got 5 setups. We got 2 hours. Kevin's going to walk us through the thing that we've already discussed, and then we do it. And everyone's like, "Wow, these guys are on it.
Yeah,
they made a plan. We're actually going to get to go home.
We're going to get to go home, and especially on a Friday.
Yeah, on a Friday,
the
we're all
crew is going to love you.
Yeah,
the crew will work extra hard for you. And again, it gets back to doing your homework.
Yeah,
and a lot of people, I'm amazed how people will show up and so I was thinking. Well, that thought should have happened on the phone with the director 2 days ago.
Yeah, I was thinking, Kevin,
right
we could
now.
have like a cable pull right here. We could just, and be like, yeah, if you would have told me that, I would have brought that truck. It's not here. We can't do a hand pull. We don't have anything for that. And we don't have a double that looks anything like your actor, and we don't have double the clothes or whatever it is that we need. So,
well, and you can learn. I think the whole thing behind this is learning. You can learn from that director, whether it's good or bad. That director can learn from you. So if you go in open-minded, to me, it's never a negative situation. Even if it's a bad day, it's like, this day's killing me. But you know what? I still have a job to do. Or if it's a tight situation, it's like, okay, I'm gonna figure how to get out of this.
Yeah.
That's my challenge. And if you do that, but come across being thankful, respectful, and then sometimes you do gotta, hey, you guys, time out.
Yeah.
This is what we're gonna do. This is how much time we have. But if you do your homework, then don't be afraid to speak up like that.
So much knowledge coming out of you, Kevin.
Yeah, I don't know about
You've worked
that.
on a few projects, I can tell. Okay, here's my last question for you to wrap this up. So, and maybe putting you on the spot. Maybe I should ask you this before to think about this, but can you give me just one aha moment on any film where you're just like, yeah, I love my job. That was awesome. Can you I know there's probably been a lot of them, maybe. I don't know, but can you think of some cool thing? You're just like, this is cool. Like, was there some cool stunt you did that you're just like, yes. I know
probably
you
the biggest stunt that I pulled off that was crazy.
That you were happy about. Like, you were like, this is going on my reel or whatever.
Blue Streak.
Yeah.
The car jump with Martin Lawrence. Tom Harper was the coordinator.
Yeah.
That was pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't even expected to do a stunt that day. I was going out to deliver ramps.
So you're driving?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're doing the stunt.
And it was just kind of like things weren't working out with the other stunt guy. And it's like, you guys know anybody? Well, yeah, that guy that just delivered the ramps, he can do it. And it's like, okay, man, you're going to wardrobe.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
Yeah.
And so delivering ramps turned out to just a huge car jump.
Yeah.
And but again, having guys that are versatile around you, meaning the coordinator and other guys and Troy Brown, that was awesome. So that was probably the highlight when you weren't expecting.
That's a highlight. Yeah,
that was like,
that's what
whoa.
The highlight. Yeah.
So that, I think, director-wise, that's like that really caught my eye. Yeah. I think I was in awe when I saw Steven Spielberg work for the first time. Well, I don't think. I know I was. Now, was Jurassic Park?
Oh, Jurassic Park. Yeah.
Because that's like, you get in the business, Steven Spielberg. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. But then when you actually go out and watch this guy work and see how quick he is, the movie's already edited in his head. Yeah. And it's like, I don't need that. Let's move on. I got that. Okay, set that. Got that. Let's move on. Nope, I already got. And you're just like, okay, the guy's incredible.
Yeah. A little bit different from what he's known for on Jaws, which went a little bit long, right?
That was his training ground.
He got all the bad out, right? He made an awesome movie in the end, but he got all the bad stuff out of his system and said, okay, I'm never going to treat, production like that again. I know where the pitfalls are, and I'm going to make this very smooth from now on.
Oh, man.
Now he's just a machine. Like,
you'll
so
see
good.
That machine, then you'll see from the stunt to the machine, and probably the most recent one was Jungle Book. Again, Tom Harper as the coordinator,
and the director is Jon Favreau.
Oh my gosh.
You love.
Well, first of all,
you were constantly texting me. Like, you texted me a video one day of him, like at lunchtime, like doing DJing.
Oh
stuff,
yeah, well
right?
yeah, like the little rap party he was DJing. But to watch him work with kids, and how he can bring what he needs out of a kid, and he also knows when to call timeout. Guy's a rock star. Yeah,
rock stars. That's what we need. More rock stars.
We do.
So, anyway.
We do.
Well, Kevin, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. Normally I ask people where they can find you on social media, but Kevin doesn't like to be on social media. So the only place you can find him, which he can't get around, is on IMDb. So go on IMDb, look up his credits. You'll be amazed by what this guy has done. And he's been in so much stuff, and I look forward to the next project we do together, because it's always fun when we work together.
Feel fortunate.
So,
I feel
and
very
hopefully
fortunate.
that'll happen very, very soon. So again, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks for having me.